Welcome back again. Today we're looking at a drill we call Audibles. Basically, this is a drill that has a on-ball defender and a hot slide. In this drill, our hot slide is communicating to the on-ball defender and giving him information that he needs to know in order to essentially support a double team, a peel, or any other bit of information, right? He could tell him to stay, he can tell him he's on his own, tell him to push the ball guy out. Basically, it's to ensure that we're having good communication with the on-ball guy to kind of support good aggressive defense. Within this drill, essentially, we're kind of playing with the understanding that we have a push, right? You can edit this drill however you like to, essentially put a 2 in on the crease and push our hot slide out if you like. We essentially are just concentrating on the communication between our hot slide and the back of our on-ball guy. So the verbiage we like to use, essentially, we're using dog to kind of call a double. We use peel to call in our recovery when we slide. We like to use turn if we have a step in front of our guy to essentially kind of close the door on him and try to get him to turn. Other teams will kind of use, stay left, stay right to kind of let them know which side they're sliding to. That's absolutely perfectly fine as well. If you're getting early beat, you can definitely use your peel calls there and slide to the front side. You can use the trail call if you're on their back hip. Whatever your team uses is absolutely fine as long as there's good consistency. Good micro talk is also super critical. This is about 5 to 10 minutes into this drill for us. One thing that we've noticed our team is doing a lot better when we're consistently talking as opposed to trying to use communication right when we have to slide. So if we're talking to the ball carrier, you're good, peel, or dog, right? If we're using that communication throughout, it's allowing our timing to get better and better and better. So I would encourage constant communication throughout the entirety of the dodge. And that's also going to let them know if they're good and they can just stay on ball and not have to, worry about a slide or a double coming. Right, as you're kind of getting your reps here too, it's also really good if you are getting your peel calls to get our guys back in on the crease and kind of practice their bump calls on the end too, right? So right there was an example of a turn. All right, trying to get our guys to close the door, turn the ball carrier, and kind of meet them on that turn. Other things we want to be practicing, body positioning from the hot guy, right? 50-50 feet, getting into the sliding lanes. Also thinking about, as the ball carrier, we're trying to force our guys into where our slide is going to be, taking away top side. We don't want our guy to have to, adjust where he's sliding to. That's something that we try to really kind of harp on here. Being predictive and not reactive with some of the things we're doing. So one thing we also kind of do within this drill, right? If our guys are doing the same thing over and over and over, we'd kind of put a coach in the start of either line and kind of script some of the reps and say, you're going to get beat early here. You're going to stay on their back hip. Try to get a turn on this one. That way our guys are getting different looks. Once they kind of see it a little bit, they'll start to be able to, script them with their partner on their own. And then once they're in a good rhythm, then we can just kind of let them play it out and be lacrosse players. But, there's a reason why they play defense. All right, good little turn on the backside here, right? And when you are kind of playing in a pair here, right, the thing we try to tell our guys, right, if you're sliding, it's in a double, right? The guy coming in, if it's to the front side, you're stopping feet. The guy coming into the backside, you're essentially coming in to take the ball away. We're not looking for both guys coming in there swinging sticks. One thing we've struggled with in the past is, both guys sliding to the same point. We want to make sure that, we're making a sandwich of the guy so there's not a escape route. If anything, we're trying to push him out to the outside so there's not a way for him to get to the center of the field. Right, hopefully got a good field call there. Right, stand on the back hip here, right? A little bit too out into the alley. Want to make sure we're getting good contact and staying on their back hip. Right there he maintained good contact. Hopefully we got a good turn there. All right, another decent turn there with him firing to the backside. Nice little peel early. He can be telling him he's good, he's good, right? If we want to get that late turn, that's absolutely fine, right? If it's kind of late in the dodge, at this point, his options are kind of passing through X. If we want to potentially show no go or get that late slide, get a recovery kind of low and late, that's sometimes fine, right? Thinking about kind of where we are relative to the crease. I think sometimes your guys will start to think, right, we have to go every single time. Encourage them to think like, when are our guys good, right? In our kind of, principles, we are a team that wants to be aggressive and slide early. There are going to be times where your guy's fine, right? And we do want to be able to kind of let them know you're good, you're by yourself, you're alone, stay, right? Right, like for example there, right, if he's kind of towards the edge of the box, we could be communicating you're good, force him out. And that should be part of this drill as well, right? Right there we kind of had both guys go into the same spot. Right there's a good rep where he stayed, right? Good show in the alley. Right, there's a good late go. Right, pace wasn't great, but I think good communication, good early peel. But yeah, this is a drill we call Audibles. Again, it's a good way for our on-ball defenders to get good communication from the hot slide and kind of practice those reps in a relatively decent speed. Thank you.